The Savoiker Institute of International Hospitality Education. It is our privilege to have you, distinguished guests, esteemed faculty, and students here for the 3rd Asia-Pacific International Religious Tourism Pilgrimage Conference. I am Ansel Sultana, and I am pleased to lead you into this auspicious event. I request Samantha and Saloni to escort our dignitaries for the dais. Our chief guest, Shri Bhushan Savoiker, Director of Higher Education of Government of Goa. Professor Dr. Carlos Fernandes, Associate Professor at the Polytechnic University at Raana, Dr. Raana P.D. Singh, former Professor at the Banaras Hindu University. Professor Dr. Darish Eutychus from the Lithuanian Center of Social Science. Parichay Parvesh, CEO of Qataris Techie India. Professor Irfan Mirza, the Director and Principal of Savoiker Institute of International Hospitality Education. This conference is organized by the Institute of Religious Tourism and Pilgrimage in conjunction with the International Journal of Religious Tourism and Pilgrimage and Savoiker Institute of International Hospitality Education. The endeavor aims to provide empirical and personal insights into changing nature of religion in society and to consider evolving challenges within the future development of faith tourism and pilgrimage. In Indian culture, lighting a lamp is a symbol of victory, of good over evil, knowledge over ignorance, and hope over despair. It's a tradition that is deeply rooted in many Indian festivals, religious ceremonies, and rituals. This conference is a step toward knowledge. To signify this intention, I request our dignitaries to come forward and light the lamp. Thank you all. Singing is twice praying. These are famous words of Saint Augustine. The Saraswati Vandana is a hymn that praises Goddess Saraswati. The college band will now offer a devotional chant to the Goddess of knowledge, music, art, and speech, invoking blessings for wisdom and eloquence. Requesting everyone to kindly rise.
Yeah.
set on to the journey of knowledge that we have committed to. And so, I now request the Director and Principal of V.M. Savoiker Institute of International Hospitality Education, Professor Irfan Mirza, to address the gathering and declare the conference open.
Good morning to all of you. Welcome to Goa. Welcome to V.M. Savoiker Institute of International Hospitality Education. This is the third Asia Pacific International Religious Tourism and Pilgrimage Conference of 2025. The first one was held in Vietnam and the second one was in Indonesia. I have to thank Professor Subhash and Dr. Razak for making sure that we are the host for this year's event. Thank you so much. And with us, our chief guest for today, Director of Higher Education, Government of Goa, Shri Bhushan Savoiker. Please welcome him. Professor Carlos Fernandes of Institute of Polytechnic, the Vienna de Costiavo in Portugal. He came all the way from Portugal. We welcome you. Professor Raana P.B. Singh. He was with the Banaras Hindu University from 1998 until 2016. We welcome you, Professor Raana. Professor Darush Lutikas from University Lithuanian Center of Social Science. You came all the way from Lithuania. We welcome you too. Finally, we have Mr. Pariche Peruvesh. Am I right? Okay. And the CEO of Katros Techie based in Pune. We welcome you too. The religious tourism, the purpose of religious tourism is for spiritual purpose. When people travel, when they are motivated to travel for religious tourism, they don't mind travel to faraway places, spend many days. Sometimes that doesn't happen with the pleasure tourism or leisure tourism. And in recent issue of Economist, which was published on the 26th of December 2024, there is an article which says, India tourism highlighted how the assets and attractions of India as tourism destination is grossly underutilized compared to many other countries. Whereas countries which they don't have any cultural heritage have created a paradise for tourism. I'll just give you an example. India has near about 43 World Heritage Sites. And as an average, we have 7 million tourists visiting India every year. Compared to Dubai, which was a man-made paradise, which attracts near about 17 million tourists every year. Dubai is not a country. Dubai is a small city and within the United Arab Emirates. So what I'm trying to say, with whatever heritage sites we have, temples that we have, churches we have, we can boost this tourism. So that is why this issue mentions that it is underutilized. The Kumbh Mela in Prayagraj is a complete and unique experience for foreign travelers. Already about 1.5 million devotees are there in the Kumbh Mela, which is going to be a 45 days event, and that is going to be on the 26th of February 2025. Both state and central government have realized the importance of tourism as a generator of wealth and creator of employment opportunities. Of the total travel taking place in India, 80% of the tourists or tourists are Indians, domestic tourists. Only 20% or less than 20% are from foreign countries. Out of this 80%, do you know how much of tourism, religious tourism, takes place? Out of the 80%, 60% of the tourism activities are from the religious tourism. The places of religious importance which have been attracting tourists without any promotion lacks boarding and lodging. Sometimes, because of lack of connectivity, the tourists or devotees have to walk miles and miles in a difficult terrain. One example is Sabrimala. I don't know how many of you been to Sabrimala. They have to really climb, unlike temple in Guruvayur. The importance of religious tourism as a generator of commerce was hardly recognized. It is only after the establishment of Mada Vaishno Devi Shrine Board, Kashi Vishwanath Corridor, revival of Bhushan, that the economic importance of these places have been realized. The improvement of connectivity to Chardham. You know where is Chardham? Chardham is in Himalayas. The setting up of wayside facilities has increased the number of pilgrimage visiting these places, and it is increasing every year. And so that there is no unemployment from Roorkee up to Rishikesh. When I talk about Rishikesh, it has already become a center for yoga capital of the world. Recently, a lot of tourists came to Goa in connection with the exposition of Francis and Xavier starting from 21st of November till the 5th of January. Not only the domestic tourists came here, even the international tourists, also from Portugal, one of the ministers also took part in that. India has very famous, many religious centers, temples, cities like Meenakshi Amman Temple in Madurai, Velankani, Nagud Dargah, and other cities, religious tourism or Varanasi, Rishikesh, Kedarnath, Sabrimala, Guruvayur, Tirupati, Rameshwaram, Haridwar, Amritsar, the Golden Temple, and Badrinath and Puri. There are more. So India attracts many tourists under the religious tourism, and Goa also attracts a lot of tourists. We have Mangesh Temple, we have the St. Francis Xavier Church in Old Goa. Also, there are Shol, has the oldest seminary, which our MC comes from. You come from Shol? Yes. And with this, I conclude my speech, and I welcome all the participants who are here to present the papers. I forgot to mention that my friend Mark Mendes, welcome Mr. Mark Mendes, and he's the member of Goa Board of Tourism, and Professor Savoiker, principal of a college here in Ponta, and many others who are sitting here. We welcome all of you, and I hope with this paper presentation there will be an outcome. Deliberate, find out, and have a good time. This, I declare, this conference is open. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Our first distinguished speaker, Professor Dr. Carlos Fernandes, is an associate professor with aggregation in tourism at Instituto Politécnico de Viana do Castelo, Portugal. Professor Fernandes lectures students of bachelor's in tourism and master's in tourism and innovation. He is the course leader of the bachelor's degree in gastronomy and culinary arts. Professor Fernandes obtained his BA degree at Syracuse University, USA, MA degree at the Rutgers University, USA, and PhD at Bournemouth University, UK. His interests include tourism innovation, tourism as development strategy, gastronomy, religious and diaspora tourism, and others. Professor Fernandes is a member of the editorial board of various tourism-related scientific journals. He is also a book review editor of the International Journal of Religious Tourism and Pilgrimage. He is a researcher at the Center of Research Development and Innovation in Tourism, Portugal. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Professor Dr. Carlos Fernandes.
Well, good morning, everyone. Where shall I start? Usually say from the beginning. First, I'd like to compliment my members of the table. It is a real pleasure to be here. It's my first trip to India, and I'm not going to enter too much into this because from my presentation in the little while, you will see why I have a certain link to Indian people, let's say, this way. Okay. But here I am for the next few minutes, I will be talking about the Institute of Religious Tourism and Pilgrimage. It started in 2003. And who initiated, who took the initiative? A tourism board. So when we have someone here from the Regional Tourism Board, back in 2003, we received this invitation, I received this invitation, to put together a group of international experts in the tourism, religious tourism field, religious tourism pilgrimage field, and meet in Fatima in Portugal. One of the people who, we had about 20 people at this meeting, and one who was supposed to be there sent a paper, was published in the proceedings of that meeting, but was unable to make it, Professor Singh. So we've been, it's been a while, 20 years that we've been knowing one another, exchanging mails with one another. Occasionally I receive an email from Professor Singh, very colorful emails, I should say. And it's been a real pleasure. It's been a long journey. It's been 21 years, a very good journey, a very productive journey. I met some wonderful people along the way. Two examples there that we've been working together all these years. But one person that is not able to be here today for visa difficulties was Raza. He is also a member of the executive of the board of the Institute. And I remember back in 2003 when I received, I don't know if we had emails, I think it was faxes still at the time, I'm not sure. I received a communication from him saying, you know, I don't know if I should go to Port or to Lisbon to get to Fatima. I said, don't worry, come to Port, I'll drive down from Raana, pick you up, and then we'll drive together to Fatima. And that left a mark in Razak, saying, you know, this guy is Viana Castelo. I've never met him, I don't know who he is, and he's offered to pick me up, take me down to Fatima, drive me up again, and before we actually met, we already had a relationship going. We had something going. And this has, along these 20 years, kept us focused on what we need to do. And what we propose on doing is what we are doing here today, is meeting, gathering religious tourism pilgrimage experts to come together, exchange ideas, decide what sort of tourism road do we want to take, because there are various ways to look at tourism. and how we want to develop tourism. It was pointed out how the number of tourists that we get in many destinations. I'm one that I prefer to look at the expenditure. I prefer the sense of tourism. I prefer to look at how much they spend and not how many actually come. So there are different ways of looking at it. So during these 20 years, we've had many book publications, many books being published. We had a journal that we launched, indexed by Scopus. So we have our own journal. So from this event, we will have a meeting Friday, I believe, about publications. You know, now what? You know, we have these papers, we have these wonderful ideas. What do we do with them? Okay, so we will be talking about that on Friday. And what we do is we disseminate. We reach out. We started the annual conference a few years ago, 2003. Since then, it's been pretty much annually. And for the first 19 years or so, 18 years, it was all in Europe. Once a year in Europe, an annual conference. And then 3 years ago, we decided, okay, let's diversify. Let's go into Asia Pacific. And we had our first meeting conference in Vietnam. And since 2003, it was the first conference that I missed. I could not be in Vietnam. Last year, I did go with my colleague Goretti, and Mirza was there, and I was there. We went to Indonesia, and this year in India, had some difficulties. There was some obstacles in the way. I said, India, I have to go. India, I have to be there, and very glad that I did make it, because from the very moment that I arrived at the airport, the smiles of the people waiting for me, the students who were waiting for me, for us, the smile, the politeness, the ready to, and I was looking at the quotes that you have here throughout. Actually, I've been taking pictures of the quotes in the halls here, and there was one that says, the customer is never wrong. It doesn't say the customer is always right, it says the customer is never wrong. And the way you approach your customer is fantastic. It's not a question of politeness in terms of it's a customer, you have to treat them well. No, it's a culture thing. It's something that you do naturally. And that's unique. That distinguishes India as a culture. And something that tourists increasingly, again, I don't want to get too much into this because I'll give my presentation in a few minutes. But it's been wonderful. And arriving here yesterday, it's just fabulous. Everyone just ready to help. I heard more than once. Anything unique, let us know. We would be glad to get it for you. And it's just fantastic. And I am sure that it will be like this the rest of the week. So I am very glad to be here. I thank you all for the invitation to be here. And I look forward to this coming week. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Fernandes. Next, I have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Raana P.B. Singh, Professor of the Cultural Landscapes and Heritage Studies at Fernandes Hindu University, India. Dr. Singh has made significant contributions to academic research with case studies from North India and field studies in Japan, Sweden, Italy, Korea, and China. It was during his PhD on sacred sites and religious landscapes that his interest in these themes drove him to strengthen the existing knowledge in his publications, which include 16 books, 154 papers in reputed national as well as international journals. Dr. Singh is a visiting professor at the Gifu Women's University in Japan, a member of the editorial board of Journal of the Cultural Geography, as well as the International Journal of Religious Tourism and Pilgrimage. He is currently working on the interfaces between pilgrimages and heritage. Let us welcome Dr. Raana P.B. Singh.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Assalamu alaikum. Because when we are talking about pilgrimage system, in my opinion, no way can be training in pilgrimage. So this one thing I would like to share with you. The journey started, first stage 1972-73. It's already 52 years past. Okay? Now you can see the symbolic relation, 52 sacred sites related to Mother Goddess in India. Okay? If you can plot on the map what we have done, that was a project from MIT and Astrophysics Department, University of Colorado. Then we find something what we call sacred geometry. It's all astrophysical phenomena, etc. So generally one side we think that these are only description in the text, but modern science says no, it has at least 80 to 90% scientific investigation or roots in the ground. So that is the way. So again, let me say another thing, like you can just count 5 persons here, okay? Panchabhuta Parameshwara. So you know Feng Shui very well. What about our Panchabhuta? So we have worked in China, and 2-3 years ago, before COVID, they have accepted that the whole system of Feng Shui, of Feng Shui in Korea all came from India. Generally we say that it is 9th, 10th century, but we find all that evidence and publish that in Korean and Chinese, that history goes at least 1st century. So these are the things like this. The root is like this. 2 words only we have to say. We start from the Rig Veda, Raana. What is the last and ultimate aim of your life? What you want? You can see the biography of the great scientists, the Bullarians, etc., the founders of maybe Einstein, the whole list. And you can try to see what was their aim. They all wanted where I am, ko ahamakuta ayata, where I am in the cosmos, and want to express this. That was the ultimate. And exactly that is the root of pilgrimage. What in modern context generally we say religious tourism, that is a modern way to approach, but there is no word like tourism in at least ancient Indian literature. That is called tirtha. And tirth means cross from this world to another. Not translated like ford and going from this side to another side, no. It is from humanity just to cross to link with the divine feeling. The moment you make the bridge, that's why the whole book was written, that is called Three Bridge by Bachaswati, that is 11th century. That defined that how you have to awaken your super consciousness of mind and then try to reach, and you reach something level, what we call nowadays, very popularly we cite Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that is from Atharva Veda. The whole world is a family. So this is the one of the essence of what we call this pilgrimage. And nowadays we are talking like religious tourism. I prefer to call always to Tirthayatri. We all are passing like this from the birth to that. And then you can see symbolic things like you go to Maharashtra, out of 56 ancient temple and shrines and images of Ganesha, 27 in Maharashtra. We have done, this is nothing like my work. So don't consider I am a scholar at all or anything. No, it is all, you can say co-pilgrimage. What I always say, you are all co-pilgrims. The journey started in 1972 and now coming up to this. So what we try to see that what does it mean? Why 56 only? And then we find that metaphysically you can analyze the whole India, it is going like this. So it is like 8 direction, 7 kundalini, you multiply 56. 56 character and stages of life from birth to death, and all represented to the sacred sites. So these are the, not only in India, you find at least 4 or 5 countries we have worked and you find that the roots are there. So one more point. Several times what happened, that we got a preconceived concept. Just one example, that 9th, 10th century, from here, things gone, metaphysical or religious things gone to China, and from China to Japan, and Korea, etc., etc. But recent researchers say, the latest already published. Whatever I am talking to, already published in standard journals and reports also. The year is 481. That a queen gone from Ayodhya, which is in North India, now you all know Ayodhya, quite famous due to Modi ji. So from Ayodhya, the queen gone to Korea, and 60% population of Korea belong to that. So now they have started a different type of, you can say, pilgrimage. It is not like you can say only religious tourism, but you can see they are coming since last 5 years, 100 people related to that family, all complete in that way, the Indo-Korean things, without any language, without anything, interaction, a deep sharing. So we call the another perspective, co-sharing. So this is the way I wanted to share. The rest, other things we will talk in our paper presentation, and my good friend, so after 21 years. That is good period, I think, for pilgrimage, co-sharing and then physical touch, only after 21 years. Of course, with Darius we have been in Italy and other countries also performing pilgrimage, etc. So the life itself is a pilgrimage. How you are going to take this? I don't know how many of you are called young. If you go to the things, about 6 years, 7 years, he was sadhu monk in Himalaya. The great writer, Mirza Eliade, sacred and profane, the mastermind who has introduced scientific study of religion, first time in Chicago. That department name is the Department of Scientific Study of Religion. Mirza Eliade, 7 years in the Himalaya. And then he tried to write down what is sacred, what is profane. There is nothing like that. It is your intention how you see. This is the way the pilgrimage is going on. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Singh. I now request Sejal Saram to introduce our esteemed chief guest for this conference. Mr. Bhushan Savoiker is the Directorate of Higher Education, Government of Goa. He is a Junior Administrative Grade Officer of Civil Service. Mr. Savoiker earned his Bachelor's Degree of Commerce, Bachelor's Degree of Law, and Master of Law through Goa University. He has worked in various departments of the government of Goa, including education, revenue, and elections, among others. He was also the projector for DRDA law and held additional charge of the director of the Department of Rural Development. He was the officer on special duty coordinations for G20 meetings held in Goa. Mr. Savoiker served as the chairman of State Coordinator Team for National Games 2023. It is indeed an honor to invite and welcome our chief guest to address the gathering.
Good morning to you all. Respected dignitaries, all the guys, and all my friends. It's really my privilege and honor to be here in this august gathering of researchers and scholars who will be speaking today or presenting papers on religious tourism and pilgrimage, which is the oldest form of tourism that exists ever. Perhaps maybe in olden days, people used to travel for hunting from one place to another, but that is no more done. So the oldest form of tourism that exists will be the religious tourism and pilgrimage. When we see the world as a whole, then the largest human gathering that we have ever seen are all for religious purpose. Whether in the state of Goa, if we see the largest gathering, or whether it is in a country like India or in the world, the largest human gathering are for religious tourism. The religious tourism differs in some way with the leisure or pleasure tourism. One way is there is no need of promotion of this tourism. So this is less spoken tourism, but it is regularly practiced tourism by many people. Less spoken in the sense when I compared it with the tourism like promotion of XYZ beach or promotion of XYZ place, except in the recent past when the religious places are also promoted as tourism. This religious tourism is less spoken and less marketed form of tourism, that's what I feel. One more thing that is there in the religious tourism is when we say the leisure or pleasure tourism, it is limited to rich or middle class. But this is the form of tourism which does not follow the economic class or caste or religion as such. So even the poor forms part of this tourism. They also visit the holy places, and that is one thing that makes this tourism different from any other form of tourism. One more thing that is there. What is difference in some places, although in most of the places this is regular. In slum places it is regular in the sense every day, and the tourism is every day in some places. But there are some places where it is occasional. Occasional in the sense, if you say Kumbh Mela or the exposition that has happened in Goa, it happens after a certain period of time. So, although there is no promotion, the people gathered after so many years for their religious pilgrimage, and that is one thing that makes this tourism different from other tourism. One more difference what I feel that it has got a competitive advantage above all the other forms of tourism. Forms of tourism they are bound to change the privileged destination. Usually change after some certain years. But this form of tourism has that advantage of having the competitive advantage of being the places of this tourism will the probability that there is change, it will change is very rare, because it has something to do with the faith, it has something to do with the customs, tradition of each belief. This tourism is not only related to the economic activity, it has many things to do with the faith. Most of the things it has to do with the faith, tradition, and human beliefs. One of the examples which I had read some years back ago, maybe during the last exposition, the article was published. In 1945, the World War was declared, and the European countries which were ruling most of the world, they stopped fuel supply to all the countries, saying that our national interest is our priority, and the fuel supply for all the countries was stopped, including to Goa. The priest of Old Goa requested that since there is a feast on 3rd of December, some relaxation may be granted and the fuel may be allowed only for that period. But the Portuguese government said no, we cannot relax our national interest, we cannot compromise, we cannot give fuel for the purpose like a feast of this month. So everyone expected that since there is no fuel this month, there are no transport facilities, and the number of people that will attend the feast will be much less than what is expected. But then that does not happen. The same number of people came. They came walking. They started little early because there was no transport facility. They started early and they reached their destination on the given day. So the equal number of people came for the feast. My point of telling this, giving you this example, this is that irrespective of the hardships that are faced by the people will come for this pilgrimage. People will come for religious this month. In fact, just now I was speaking, there is a belief in almost all the religions, if I am not mistaken, that unless you do at least one yatra or one pilgrimage, your life is incomplete. That is the belief in many religions. I don't know all religions, at least in Hindu religion there is a belief that unless you do the Tirtha yatra, your life is incomplete. So if we go by that this belief, then this tourism will continue until the human life exists on in this earth. For I congratulate Savoiker Institute of International Hospitality Education for organizing this beautiful seminar, and I wish you all the best in presenting papers. I hope and I am sure that this conference will be quite knowledgeable, and it will help every one of us in the future. I once again thanks for giving me this opportunity to address you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Shri Bhushan. We are immensely grateful for your presence and contribution at this inaugural. Golden words are indispensable. They warm the heart and acknowledge relationships. The inaugural demands an expression of gratitude for the effort and time that many individuals have put together. I request Dr. Semele Sardesai, a member of the conference committee, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Respected Principal and Director of BMS IIT, Professor Irfan Mirza, Chief Guest of today's function, Shri Bhushan Savoiker, Director DHE, Government of Goa, esteemed members of the Institute of Religious Tourism and Pilgrimage, keynote speakers, esteemed guests, delegates, colleagues and students. As the curtain rises on the 3rd Asia Pacific International Religious Tourism and Pilgrimage Conference, it is my proud privilege to express our deepest gratitude to those who have illuminated the inaugural function with their wisdom, passion and presence. I have tried to make this vote of thanks a bit interesting. Under the skies of Goa's embrace, we gather here in this sacred space to honor wisdom, efforts and care. A heartfelt thanks to all who are there. To Shri Bhushan Savoiker, our honored chief guest, your words have inspired, igniting our quest. With vision and care, you have shown us the way. We thank you, sir, for gracing our day. To the esteemed members of IRTP, we say, your wisdom and guidance light our way. Professor Fernandes, with insights so grand, you have brought new horizons to this sacred land. Professor Darush Beauticus, your scholarly view will open our minds to perspectives anew. Professor Razak Raj, a leader so wise, your vision and passion we truly prize. And Mr. Parichay Parivesh, blending tech with lore, your innovation inspires, opening new doors. To each of you, our heartfelt gratitude flows. Professor Raana Singh, a beacon so bright, you have shared your wisdom, a guiding light. From sacred paths and spiritual love, your words have opened a celestial door. A special mention, a heartfelt cheer to Professor Subhash, whose efforts are clear. It was your vision that brought this conference to Goa's shore, to share an experience, to connect and adore. This conference today owes much to your zeal, your dedication and passion we deeply feel. To Professor Irfan Mirza, Principal Director and Guide, your constant support is our source of pride. With the eye for perfection and a heart full of care, your guidance has lifted this event to the rare. We thank you, sir, for standing so true. With every step forward, we have looked up to you. To our esteemed guests and delegates, with honor and grace, you have enriched our gathering, this sacred space. to Mr. Mark Mendes and to Professor Savoiker. Your presence inspires, your wisdom lights, a beacon of hope through scholarly heights. To the chefs and F&B team, for delights you have prepared, your flawless service shows how much you have cared. To gardening and KST, with their magic unseen, making every corner fresh and clean. The front office team, with a welcoming smile, and housekeeping for making it all worthwhile. To logistics, accounts, purchase, IT, marketing, compliance, maintenance, admin, and security too. This success belongs to each one of you. To all our well-wishers and the media, from Doordarshan, HiveJaw, Prudent, Goa reporters, True Goa News, Goa 365, near and far, this event is brighter because of who you are. To the event manager and the teacher of event management so bright, you have crafted this gathering a flawless delight. With planning and care, each detail refined, your efforts and vision leave none confined. To the students, for tireless effort and grace, your energy and zeal have brightened this space. Together we strive, together we learn, for bonds of faith and wisdom to burn. Thank you one and all for being here. Your presence makes this gathering dear. Please forgive me if I have missed anyone. It was unintentional. Thank you.
We have this event management as part of our curriculum. So it is given to the third year, final year of BSc culinary students to organize this event. So everything from welcoming the guests, preparing the food, serving, taking care of the accommodation, everything is done by these students. And they are going to be graded. So it is as part of their ISA internal assessment. Just thought I share this with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Semele. Thank you, Professor Irfan. Ladies and gentlemen, requesting you to kindly rise for the national anthem.
Janagana Mana Adhinayak Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Uttara Banga Vindhya Himachal Yamuna Ganga Uchchal Jaladhi Taranga Tava Shubha Name Jage Tava Shubha